Hello friends, myself Anirban Biswas. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys liked my first video about chess basics. Now, today I'm going to teach you some fundamental stuff of chess. Okay? So just without further ado, without talking some shit thing, we should start our lesson. Okay? So the second thing you need to learn about the fundamentals of chess. So the first thing I'm going to teach you today is the capture. Identify the opponent's undefended pieces and capture them. Okay. So take the black pieces. Okay. So the rook can go like this, horizontal and vertically. So you can take the pawn on c7, then the pawn on f7. Okay. Now, second, take the black piece and don't lose yours. First of all, just see the condition is you should take the black piece. Okay, so right now you are playing as white and you have only a queen on f4. Black have a rook on c7 and a pawn on f7. The queen can take both because queen can go horizontally, vertically, and even diagonally. So if you take the pawn, then black rook actually took your queen, take your queen. So you should take the rook first on c7, then take the pawn on f7. Okay. Now, okay. Again, this bishop can take two things. One is the pawn, and second is the rook. But if you took the pawn on f5, the rook will capture your bishop. So first you should capture the rook on b5, and now you need to play this move, bishop c4, targeting the rook on f7. Now you can take this, and now you can play bishop e6 to take the pawn. Okay, now take the black piece and don't lose yours. Okay, you have only one queen and the queen is on g3. You can't take the pawn on g5 because the pawn is defended by another black pawn f6. If you take the pawn, then the pawn will take your queen. So you need to be very thinking. You can't play the move queen c7 because then knight will capture your queen. Okay, so just think it. The knight is actually defended by the bishop. Okay, and this pawn, the red circle, defended by the knight. It's a tricky one where you need to find it. Only the bishop is the only piece which is actually not defended by anything. So you need to capture the bishop somehow. Okay, so just build it. Okay, okay, I got it. Play queen a1 first, queen a3 first. Then you can play queen f8 because the queen can go diagonal. Then take the bishop. Sorry. Then take the bishop. Then take the knight. Then play queen e6 to take the pawn on f6. And then you can take the pawn on g5. Smart. Okay, take the black piece and don't lose yours. Okay. So you have only a knight. You are white. You are playing as white. You have only a knight on f4 square because the file is f file and the rank is 4th rank. Okay, so play the move knight h5, then take this, then take the bishop, then play knight e5, take the pawn on c6, and then finally take this. Okay, so that's over our capture class. Next is protection. Protection means identify the pieces your opponent and defend them. So sometime what happened, sometime you need to defend your piece. You can see the black bishop. You are playing as white. You are playing as white. The opponent have two strong bishops targeting then a1 square and b1 square. This rook is attacked. Okay, listen carefully. This rook on a1 is attacked by the dark square bishop. This rook can't go here because the white pawn blocked the rook. Knight is the only piece who actually can jump over another piece. But rook, king, queen, bishop, no one can jump over other piece. So basically this rook have only two square to go, b1 and c1. Look, b1 square is guarded by the black bishop. So if you play rook b1, then he will take your rook. So there is only one move, and that is rook c1. Okay, you are under attack, escape the threat. Okay, so how many square knight can go? Knight can go, the queen will take the knight. Again here, but the queen will take the knight. Here, queen will take the knight. But I can play this move. Okay, there is no escape, but you can defend. Okay, the queen attacks the knight on a7. And how we will defend it? Playing rook a2, defending the knight with the rook. There is no escape, but you can defend. Okay, play the move c5. If you push your pawn to c5, this bishop protects the pawn protects the bishop. So the queen can't capture. So play the move c5. Okay, and now there is no escape, but you can defend. So just remember, in this position, you are playing as white, black bishop on f6 targeting your rook on a1. You can't play the b1 move because there is another rook who will take your rook. So black rook will take your rook. You can't block this attack by playing bishop b2, then you will lose bishop, rook, everything basically. So there is one move, and that is d4, blocking this line. Okay, any undefended piece. So here is basically the undefended piece is the rook on g2. Okay, bishop on b7, targeting the rook on g2. What you will play? I think the best move is actually knight e4, because you can't the bishop can't capture the knight, because then he will lose his bishop, because pawn is defending the knight. Okay, don't let any undefended piece. So how many undefended pieces they have? Black knight targeting your bishop, but it was defended by a pawn. Okay, the rook attacked the bishop and it was undefended. It was undefended. It is undefended. This bishop on b2 is undefended. This knight is also undefended because the queen target the knight. What move you can play? Well, I found a good move, and that is knight to c4. Okay, knight to c4 will save the knight, also will defend the bishop with the help of white knight. So play the move knight c4. Okay, that's done. Now there are basically no pieces are kind of a hanging except this bishop is hanging. Okay, it is a very tough situation because black queen actually attack all the three major pieces, all three important pieces of white. First, the queen is placed on, black queen placed on d7 square. So it basically target the knight on b5 diagonally, the rook on f5 diagonally, and vertically the bishop on d3. Now the queen can't take the knight because rook is defending the knight. The queen can't take the rook because the bishop is protecting the rook. The only thing that is undefended in this situation is the bishop. So what move you should play that defending everything? And I found the move. It is knight d4. Knight d4 defending the knight, because here is pawn will defend the knight. This rook was defend the knight and the bishop is okay. So knight d4 is the right move because it's defending the rook. And so that's over protection. So today's video, I will end today's video here. Next class, next lesson, next video, I will talk about combat, check, out of checkmate in one, so many stuff. But today's video is short, I know that, but hope you guys like it, you enjoy the video. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for giving your precious time.